You know, we gotta finish. We gotta push through. And the fact that like we're not even halfway, I don't think, I'm feeling this way, has me a bit freaked out, if I'm being honest. My life is very comfortable, almost too comfortable. And while I love and appreciate the comfort and ease that our society provides nowadays, I've also become keenly aware that it's becoming too much of a good thing. It's possible for me to go along living for days, even weeks, without breaking a sweat or raising my heartbeat. I can go from box to box to box, always in the same temperature, barely moving, and make a living by sitting on a comfortable chair and staring into a screen all day. Heck, even food can be delivered without me having to get up off the couch. Comfort is great and necessary. But when life brought me challenge after challenge after challenge at the end of last year, I realized something. It's when life gets hard that it becomes its most beautiful. It's when we faced our greatest doubts that life becomes the most meaningful. And it's when we are uncomfortable that we become the best versions of ourselves. This year, I've dedicated myself to a slow and strenuous lifestyle. I've put together challenges that push my limits physically, mentally, and emotionally, all to rebel against this fast-paced, tech-obsessed culture of convenience. I've gone a week without internet, faced my fear of heights by rock climbing, watched the sunrise every day for a month, all in the name of a slower, more meaningful experience of life. The biggest challenge, though, was waiting for me in the Adirondack Mountains, and it's all thanks to my dad. My dad has a saying that I've tried to follow throughout my life. Go a little farther, a little longer, a little earlier than everyone else, and you'll have the whole world to yourself and a better experience of life. In the Adirondacks, tucked away in the back of a guidebook, is a trail that does just that. A long, grueling hike, described as only being meant for fit, experienced, backcountry adventurers, a title that I can't in good conscience bestow on myself. The trail starts by going up two high peaks, mountains that sit over 4,000 feet in elevation. A few people attempt the summit of the first peak, known as one of the most difficult of all the 46. A smaller segment of that few continue down that mountain and up the second, usually only if they're trying to become a 46er. And that is where just about everyone stops, turns around, and heads home. But beyond that second high peak lies a long, grueling trail that, according to my book, promises to traverse one of the most beautiful landscapes in the Adirondacks. It's not for the faint of heart or weak of feet, but the experience, according to the author, is worth the torment. Maybe, I thought, if I go a lot farther, a lot longer, and push myself a lot more, then I'll create an incredible experience for myself. Little challenges are great for expanding our comfort zone and improving our experience of life, but sometimes we need a hard, harsh reset to ground ourselves with. I convinced my friend Troy to come along with me for this adventure, in part to share the experience with him, but also because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to finish and needed someone by my side if that ended up being the case. We all need a good friend who's down for anything, even physical and emotional pain, in the name of sick views. We have made it to the trailhead. Troy's joining the expedition. How you feeling?
Pretty good.
Ready?
I'm ready.
It's gonna be a long one. Starting with one of the most difficult high peaks in the Adirondacks is no small task. Actually, when I called a friend who had hiked it a few years ago to ask how it was, his answer was brief. All he said was, quote, "I puked." Our hike begins the way all hikes do, with excitement, optimism, and full stores of food and water. What makes this hike different is that the point is not to bag a peak or check a box. It is to experience each of the thousands of steps as mindfully and meaningfully as I can. Not to accomplish, but to appreciate. Not to bag, but to bask in beauty, which is hard to do when a trail looks like this. Hiking in the Northeast. Just straight up.
Yep.
No switchbacks here.
Last 80K hike.
Here's some rocks for you.
Yeah.
Lost the trail for a second. A little sketchy, but found in hindsight. And start to see gain some elevation. Let's see where we're at here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. This is crazy beautiful, and I would love to stay, but as Troy just said, we have a long way to go. So, keep moving.
Sure,
What was that?
like that nice little alpine tree set.
Yeah. Fresh pine.
Fresh pine or whatever.
Coming up on the wash bowl. It's very lychee. It's just steaming in the mist right now. Basically, we're a third of the way to being a third of the way. All right.
Take this by bit.
How you feeling?
Good. Pretty good.
How about after that? We shall see. Onwards and upwards. So it's just been a relentless uphill to this point. Relentless uphill. Wouldn't you say? Made it to the summit of the first peak. Oh man, that was rough. That was pretty grueling. Troy decided to hang back just below the summit. He saw what we have left and decided to have some self-preservation there. But yeah, here we are. Nice breeze, no bugs. This is amazing, and we've only just begun. It is so cool to be up here. This is one of the high peaks. This adventure here requires 2 high peaks, and that in itself is a big accomplishment. But I've been thinking about this idea of like peak bagging, and how the 46 high peaks in the Adirondacks have just become like a checklist a lot of the times. Like I did this, I don't need to do it again. I bagged it, right? And that's not what this is about. Because even though I just did this nice accomplishment here, it's just the beginning. We got the rest of the day. Another high peak, a long trail going across this entire ridge range here, and that's kind of the point of this, is not just to bag a peak, but to really experience it. So this is just the beginning, as nice as it is to be here. The descent to the next peak is sketchy, to say the least. Descent is gnarly, just sheer rocks at a certain point. You gotta like slide down. This gets a little better. It's getting better here, but we gotta go down to go back up. Each step is precarious, and I slip on the wet rock so many times, it's a miracle that no bones are broken or ligaments are sprained. It's getting hotter, too, and buggier. I'm plowing through my water supply and feeling the pangs of fatigue, and we're not even a third of the way done. As we ascend the next high peak, doubts begin to swirl. We are alone, isolated, empty, far, far away from our comfortable life at home that requires no sweat or doubt or uncertainty. I remember what my dad said. Just a little farther, just a little longer. Don't think about the entire task. Just go one step, one breath at a time. I'll be okay.
The summit of the second peak is incredible. As I soak in the enormity of it all, I look down the trail and realize how far there is to go. I also see that the trail is overgrown. It's clear that no one has experienced that landscape in a while.
Yeah, this is the part, like the crux to me, because it's like, we did the big thing, like the big accomplishment.
Yeah.
And now it's like, the rest is like, there's no checkbox, you know?
But it's the most scenic part of the things, I think.
Yeah.
I would not want to go back up Giant. I'm really glad we're just knocking this out and continuing on.
Dude, the thought of going back the way we came fills me with so much anxiety.
I know.
I wish I felt that way about just like general life. Just like keep moving forward.
Just don't look back.
Yeah.
There'll be a car waiting to transport you back to your car.
At this point, worry becomes curiosity. What will I experience if I just shred myself to the core? With that in mind, we continue forward into the unknown. From a dark, gloomy, rocky summit towards a portal to another world. We descend into a magical field unlike anything I've ever seen in the Adirondacks. Lush vegetation all around, butterflies swirling by our heads, Lake Champlain beckoning in the distance. We can get lost in all the beauty here, breaking through the seldom used trail.
Like, as like overwhelmed I was before Rocky Peak, when it's like, man, we're far and I don't feel that great, I'm like completely renewed. 5 stars for lushness. It's like a different world on the other side of this mountain. Different world.
We dub this area the Garden of Eden. The life, the paradise, the new life it inspires me with is incredible. Walking through this landscape, I realize with the deepest understanding that my dad is right. If we limit ourselves to only going out when it's comfortable, or to living entirely within our safe zone, then we'll never truly experience life. If we don't push through the doubt, the fears, the uncertainty, the lack of control, then we condemn ourselves to a mundane and uninspiring existence. We need the courage to push through those doubts so that we can emerge on the other side a stronger, calmer, better person for it. Continuing on the trail, I am still in immense pain. We climb 3 more peaks, the trail never flat for even a moment. Every toe hurts. My knee starts to give out. I'm drenched in sweat. Towards the end, I run out of food and water.
This is long. What do you say?
Uh-huh.
I'm pooped. It'd be soft to go up that thing.
Coming back down.
What food, if it could appear in front of you right now, would you want?
Bag of grapes.
Bag of grapes. That sounds nice.
How about you?
Mint chip ice cream.
Mint chip ice cream.
Mint chip ice cream.
But I'm alive, reborn in the Garden of Eden, and certain that my life will continue to be lived a little farther, a little longer, a little earlier, and a little more strenuous than my lesser self would prefer.